morning and welcome. Robbie Noel with you with the special Sunday edition of the Flipside, broadcasting live from Rosarito Beach, Mexico. And I have never done a Sunday podcast in the past. And if you listen to yesterday's show, you'll know that I have been playing around with numerous mediums like Blog Talk Live, now on Spreaker.com, together with my daily show over at the Micro Effect at 4 p.m. I'm doing this for a number of reasons, and I'm sure we'll get to them in time. But one of the things that I really like about the concept of Spreaker.com, unlike being connected to a network, you are not limited by a specific time slot in order to do a daily program. What Spreaker affords me, and I will take advantage of it, is that I can do a broadcast whenever the mood strikes me, or more importantly, whenever a certain event has taken place that I feel is important enough to do a broadcast to draw your attention to whatever it is taking place. So the broadcasts themselves are not dictated by specific times. In other words, it's not necessarily a 1-hour program. It could be a half-hour program. It could be a 20-minute program for that matter. So I think what Spreaker enables broadcasters to do is be able to convey information to the listener and steer him in the direction of whatever news event is taking place at the time, because we do live in a world where a lot of really nasty stuff can happen in a relatively short space of time. And if one is a supposed news organization, I think the standard still remains that there will always be a challenge to see who gets the news out the fastest. After all, when one thinks back, the sole reason that the Drudge Report enjoys the popularity it does today because a single event, the Lewinsky affair, was first reported by Drudge he was days, if not weeks, ahead of the so-called bastions of the Fifth Estate. And that elevated him to his current status. He hasn't pulled off another Lewinsky ever since then, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm sure in time another website will come along that will have a story that the mainstream media doesn't get hold of for a day or two, that will also elevate it to drudge status. The reason for today's broadcast is to steer you in the direction of a number of articles I have posted up this morning on my website at robbynoel.com that, if you have the time, deserve some of your attention. Top story on my page today is courtesy of King World News, an interview with Andrew Maguire, who feels pretty confident that silver is in the early stages of making a moonshot. But you all know and can appreciate that it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. Rather, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. I mean, as we speak, the G20 is meeting in Europe, trying to convince themselves that they actually have a plan in place to increase the world's GDP, which is ludicrous in and of itself. The best estimate for how big the global debt really is somewhere in the region of $230 trillion. $230 trillion represents over 300% of the world's annual GDP. There is no way to escape the day of reckoning with the world's debt markets. It's just that nobody has a shall we say logical conclusion of the time frame. For all we know, could be next week, could be next month, could be next year, could be in 2 years from now. It's irrespective of when it's going to happen. We just simply know it's going to happen. And how bad it's going to be when it happens is open for debate and conjecture. But I think if we look around the planet and see what is taking place is like Argentina, Venezuela, Bangkok in Asia, and especially the events in the Ukraine, one can get a pretty good idea what happens when things start falling apart. The Ukrainian story, there is a lot more to that conflict than meets the eye. This is not something that is simple to explain, like grudges from the past between the East and the West resurfacing. This goes a lot deeper than that, and is quite possible for it to become a black swan event. What I want to really draw your attention to today is simply because it, in some twisted and perverted way, reinforced what I was telling you yesterday, and that is the alternative media is alive and well, and there's no question it will ultimately be a force to reckon with. It's unfortunate that when you think about the alternative media, one immediately assumes the folks that are leading in the alternative media are Genesis, RBN, and a couple of others. And folks are sorely mistaken if that's who they think the alternative media is. There's a article by Stu Webb. Some like him, some don't, but he does write for Veterans Today. He has an open letter to the alternative media that I have to say I agree with a lot of his analysis of the current crop of folks who are part of this wonderful profession called the alternative media. So as I said, some of these broadcasts I'm going to do on Spreaker.com are not necessarily going to be in-depth discussions about this issue or that issue. It could be, as is the case today, just drawing your attention to some of the news stories you can find on my website that I think are pretty relevant. It is going to be a interesting week ahead, as once again we will have a parade of manufactured economic data coming out from various government agencies telling us the state of affairs in the economy. There will be the proverbial sound of happy feet over at CNBC saying things aren't as bad as we think they are, and they have full faith in the Federal Reserve being able to magically avert another financial crisis of epic proportion. Let me leave you with this, so there's absolutely no confusion about it. I have been and continue to be firmly convinced that the current price of gold should be, on an inflation-adjusted basis, trading at $2,400. Silver, likewise, on an inflation-adjusted price, should be trading at $140. Myself and Jeffrey Bennett do offer a service through Flying Eagle Gold and Silver. You can call and speak to either Jeffrey or myself, or if you so wish, you can drop us an email. We'll be only too happy to answer your question. We have, over the past few decades, solidified long-term personal relationships with all the major suppliers of gold and silver in the U.S. In other words, we get gold and silver coins, whether they be U.S. or foreign, at exactly the same price as all the other guys. The only other difference between doing business with Jeffrey and myself is obviously all the profits generated at Flying Eagle Gold and Silver go to help Joe McNeil and the Micro Effect up and running and supplying program information to many micro broadcasters across the country. Anyway, my friends, this has been a 20-minute broadcast, and I wonder if I could actually even make the bump music come on. As I said, I am playing around with the new system. Oh, there we go. This is pretty cool. I could actually turn the Flipside into a professionally sounding produced podcast.
No place to go.
Till tomorrow, my friends. See you back.
So cold. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm still following my